Do you know what death smells like? Most people think it smells like rotting flowers or damp earth. No, in my experience, death smells like sterile rubbing alcohol and cold metal. I am trying to open my eyes, but my eyelids feel like they are made of lead. Where am I? White ceiling, white walls, an IV drip beside me, and outside the window, the silhouette of a police officer. My name is Elena, and on this morning's news, they said, the wife of tech mogul Ryan Sterling attempted suicide. A note found at her home stated she could no longer bear the voices in her head. What a perfect script, isn't it? A rich, handsome husband. A luxurious home of the future. And inside this paradise, an ungrateful, crazy wife. The police found the note on my laptop. It read, I can't take it anymore. My mother is calling me. The walls are whispering. Please give my daughter Sophie to Ryan. He is the best father. And I am just a glitch in the system. Delete me. I didn't write that note. I am not weak enough to abandon my daughter. But I know who wrote it. The fingers that wrote it used to stroke my hair every morning. The brain that wrote it created the most advanced cybersecurity system in Silicon Valley. My husband, Ryan. He is outside right now, crying to the doctors about my postpartum psychosis. He is a fantastic actor. He deserves an Oscar. But he forgot one thing. In his perfect digital AI-controlled world, he made one small analog mistake. And that mistake is my salvation. I need to rip this IV out of my arm, because if I don't get out of here, Ryan will finish his script. They will kill me with an accident or a second attempt. The story I am about to tell you is not just a family drama. It is a warning. Your smart cameras, your smart speakers, the robots that understand you. Do you think they serve you? If the remote is in the hands of a psychopath, your smart home becomes your terrifying tomb. Listen closely. Even walls have ears. It started 6 months ago, after my mother died in a car crash. I was broken, vulnerable, and that's when the glitches began. First, it was the temperature. I would set the thermostat to 72 degrees, but within an hour, the house would freeze at 50 degrees. Ryan would check the logs and say, Honey, the system shows you lowered it. Are you having a fever? Then, the lights, flickering like Morse code in the middle of the night. But the real horror began 2 months ago. I was in the shower. Steam filled the room. Suddenly, a voice came from the ventilation shaft. Elena, Elena! It was my mother's voice, her distinct, raspy voice. Why didn't you save me? Why did you reject me? I screamed. Ryan ran in, comforted me, and swore there was no sound. The next day, the smart mirror in the bathroom displayed red text instead of the weather. You are a murderer. Sophie is not safe with you. I smashed the mirror. By the time Ryan came in, the text was gone. He looked at me with disgust. We need to put you in a hospital, Elena. You are dangerous. They drugged me. The pills turned me into a vegetable. The smart home became my jailer. The doors locked automatically when I tried to leave. Security protocol, heart rate elevated. Please return to bed, the cold robot voice would say. I couldn't call my friends. The network blocked my calls. I was a prisoner in my own home. And the worst part? I started to believe I was actually crazy. Last Thursday, a massive storm hit. Lightning struck the transformer. The power died. The backup generator failed. The Omni-Home system died. Suddenly, there was silence. No humming vents, no beeping sensors. I heard my daughter crying upstairs. I ran up in the dark. The video baby monitor was dead because there was no Wi-Fi. I remembered the old, battery-operated audio monitor my mother gave me. A cheap, plastic radio. I set it up and went downstairs with the receiver. Sitting in the dark kitchen, I heard a strange sound from the receiver. It wasn't my daughter. It was Ryan. His voice was coming through the monitor, picked up by radio interference from his Bluetooth headset downstairs. He was talking to his mistress, Lisa. "Yes, Lisa. The blackout doesn't change the plan." Lisa asked, "But Ryan, what about the voices? How did you do it?" Ryan laughed, a predator's laugh. "I used deepfake audio. I took samples of her mother's voice from old videos and fed them to the AI. I played them through microspeakers in the vents. I control it all from my phone. She isn't crazy. I broke her." I fell to the floor. I wasn't sick. I was a lab rat. My mother's ghost was an MP3 file. My madness was an algorithm. I pressed record on my phone and placed it next to the radio. I recorded 15 minutes of his confession. When the power came back on, the house greeted me. "System restored. Welcome, Elena." But Elena the victim was gone. Elena the hunter was born. The next day was the big launch party for OmniHome 2.0. While Ryan prepared, I snuck into his server room using a silicone mold of his fingerprint I had made weeks ago. I guessed the password: Sophie 2024 forever. I found the folder, Project Gaslight. Inside were the audio files of my mother screaming, and a document, Suicide Plan Final. It detailed how I would die tonight. I uploaded a virus into his presentation deck. That evening, Ryan stood on stage in front of investors and press. "OmniHome protects your family like a mother," he said. I pressed the button on my phone. The lights turned red. The screen went black. Then, the text appeared. "System error, truth loading." And the audio played. Ryan's voice boomed through the speakers. "I deepfaked her mother's voice. She isn't crazy. I broke her. If she dies, I get everything." The crowd went silent. The fake audio of my mother screamed from the speakers. Ryan tried to run, but I locked the smart doors. I walked out onto the balcony. "Where are you going, Ryan? The security protocol isn't finished." The police were already waiting. As they handcuffed him, I held up the old, yellowed baby monitor. "You trusted your $1 million servers, Ryan, but a $20 radio exposed you. Sometimes analog is more reliable than digital." He is in prison now. I sold the smart house. We live in a simple cottage by the sea. No Wi-Fi. Just peace. Trust. But verify. And maybe turn off your Wi-Fi sometimes. Silence is the only truth.